lords and ladies, welcome back to Cartoon Hangout, your place for all things cartoon. Marvel's new Spider-Man cartoon, simply titled Marvel's Spider-Man, is finally here. After getting a sneak peek and 6 shorts last month, how does the actual show stack up? I'm here to give my own answer to that. First off, many of my complaints or things that rub me the wrong way are still present. Obviously, because there'd be no way to necessarily correct them that fast. I still have a love-hate relationship with the increased focus on Peter's science know-how. It's cool that the writers have him solving more complex problems with his brain, something that wasn't always on full display in previous iterations, but at times it grates on the nerves. It serves less to show off how smart Peter is and accidentally makes him out to be insufferable. Nothing proves this more than when Peter doesn't yell brain freeze and instead some overly complicated scientific term for it. Moments like these serve to detract from the overall quality of the show, which isn't a good thing considering there's already some elements to the show that are rubbing fans the wrong way. The animation and art style for one. I've already said my piece on this in previous videos, but I can't let this review go by without letting you know that I'm not a big fan of it. It can come off a little cheap and less detailed than even the Spider-Man cartoons from a decade ago. When a cartoon from the 90s, which wasn't all that great in terms of animation, somehow one-ups a show from 2017, you know you've screwed up. It doesn't help that the backgrounds are very uninspired. At times they're flat, and when the CGI pops up, it looks even cheaper. I was wondering why the show premiered so quickly after Ultimate Spider-Man. Maybe they quickly threw together a replacement to capitalize on the movie. That's my guess anyway. But what about the story? It's okay to be honest. Peter's school is hosting Max Modell, who you may recall was Pete's boss in the comics, and things go awry after Smythe sabotages a few of the Horizon High students' experiments. This is probably one of the few more positive examples of Peter using his smarts in a way that doesn't end up being annoying, as he solves one of Modell's equations and uses it to calm a raging fire. Miles and Anya get their own cameos in the scene, and I am more than a little mixed on it. The characters aren't who I would typically associate with being geniuses like Peter. It's a minor change to be sure, but in the comics, Anya was more of a gymnast, not a scientist. It seems like a lazy way of getting both characters closer to Peter, and there's ways of introducing them as spiders without doing that. I'll leave room for my mind to be changed as we see more of these two characters in later episodes, though. Vulture is the first supervillain Peter faces in the show, which I appreciate, as this is true in the comics as well. I'm a fan of his redesign here, and that the show didn't go for the easier route by making him look like the Homecoming Vulture. I just couldn't really get behind his over-the-top voice, though. It was obviously being kinda, I don't know, gargled by some tech, but it just sounded weird and not in the good way. The character in the comics and media usually get introduced as wanting revenge on someone who has wronged him. This time it's Max for firing him. I don't want to compare this show heavily to Spectacular Spider-Man all the time, but that show did a little bit better at showing us the Vulture and why he was pissed than this one. Of course, this is just part 1, and I've yet to see part 2, so maybe we'll see something there. Otherwise, I think the very first episode of Marvel's Spider-Man was simply okay. It didn't do much to soothe my worries about the quality of the series, and the general look and feel of the show still seems very cheap. It delivers a serviceable first supervillain fight and plot, sets up the pieces for more conflict with the Smythes, as well as maybe prematurely introduce us to Miles and Anya Corazon. Despite these flaws, much of the rest of the episode is decent enough. I don't know if this new series will do anything to win back the Spidey fans who felt let down by Ultimate Spider-Man, or who want a spiritual successor to Spectacular, and it might not be enough to entice new viewers in with its odd design choices and the extreme focus on science jargon. I'll stick with the series weekly to let you know how it improves or gets worse though. So make sure to subscribe for more content, click that bell icon to be notified of new videos, and tune in tomorrow for my part 2 review. Also, scroll on down and leave your own comments on this video. While you're there, be sure to check out my Patreon and merch store. Thanks for watching, and take care.